Hello, dear students. Today we are going to finish lesson 4, pages 59 and 60. In the previous lesson, we talked about 3 groups of vertebrates, and today we are going to talk about 2 groups. Amphibians. Amphibians. This is a frog, toad, and salamander. These animals, they start their lives in water. So they are as fish. They live in water and they breathe through gills. As they get older, they grow legs. And they breathe through lungs because now they live on land. So the young live in water and they look like a fish and they don't have legs and they breathe with gills. When they grow up, become older, they grow legs and they can live on land and breathe with lungs. So then the adults can live on land. How do they reproduce? They lay eggs in water. Again, how do they breathe? We said the young that live in water, they breathe through gills, and the adults, they live on land, so they breathe with lungs. And as you remember, we said before that amphibians could breathe through their skin. Very good. If you remember, we studied about the salamander. We said it could also breathe through the skin. So amphibians could breathe also with their skin because they have moisture skin. So amphibians are animals that spend part of their lives in water and part on land. So amphibian is it means double life. It means double life. In water and on land, they have 2 lives. Now let's talk about mammals. Mouse, dogs, and elephants are kinds of mammals. Also, dolphins and whales are mammals, but they live in water. So, most mammals live on land and some in water like dolphins and whales. If they live in water, how do they breathe? They breathe in with lungs. How? You can see here there is on the top of the head a hole. Through this hole they can get the air. They poke their heads out to take the air, then they go back to water, as you see in this picture. How do they breathe? Yes, they breathe through lungs. How do they reproduce? Most mammals reproduce by giving birth to live young. Actually, there are very few types of mammals. They lay eggs. Like the monotony, They are mammals, but they lay eggs. But most mammals reproduce by giving birth to live young. So the young, they born, they don't hatch from eggs, they born. And the mammals take care of their young. How? The mothers feed their young milk and also keep taking care of them until they grow and they can find their own food. Some mammals are covered with thick fur. So the fur, it's a kind of hair, but it is thick. So like this bear, like cats, many different mammals are covered with fur, which is thick hair. Others are covered with hair, like this elephant, thin hair. So some mammals are covered with fur and some with hair. So mammals are vertebrates with hair or fur and that they live burn. Let's solve the quick check in page 59. Classify. What kind of vertebrate is a frog? As you know, the frog has two lives, double lives, one in water, one on land. So it is an amphibian. Now the quick check in page 60. Classify which characteristics help you know that a bear is a mammal. Actually, there are many characteristics like they have or the bear has a backbone, it has thick fur, lungs, and give birth to live young. The critical thinking question: which could survive better alone, a young reptile or a young mammal? And why? What do you think? Which one could live alone? Do you think that the reptiles take care of their young? Actually not. The young get their food by their own, but the mammals, they cannot get their own food. They need milk or they get milk from their mothers. So, a young reptile, it could live by itself, by its own. Why? Because the mammals need milk and care from the mother. Thank you for your listening.